Here's Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Why? It's a boy.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, that was a video that was just recently released of some IDF soldiers bombing a building in Gaza and making mockery and making fun of the explosion, referring to it as a gender reveal. And you hear them laughing and cracking jokes, and it just seems to be something very amusing to them. And that just goes to show you that what a lot of people have been saying across the earth, and all of these videos that have been released, where Israeli soldiers are now coming forth and admitting the crimes that they participated in and carried out. Several of those soldiers testified before the Israeli Knesset, where they admitted, two of them said, we cannot even sleep at night for the things that we did that were evil, wicked, and criminal. This bears witness that there's an element within Israel's IDF forces that is wicked and evil, and that element should be rooted out, and it should be taken out of this war, because now what we're looking at is evil on both sides with Hamas and these soldiers that are now two sides of the same coin, wickedness. The good people of Israel, who have nothing to do with IDF soldiers, the good people in Palestine and in the Gaza Strip, who do not support Hamas, who support the PLO and other Palestinian organizations, not Hamas, these are the people who are suffering the most. The killing must stop. There should be a mandatory immediate ceasefire, and the United States government should stop sending weapons to Israel to continue this war.
I agree with some of it, mostly disagree. I mean, there was a ceasefire. There's been tons of ceasefires. Over the last few decades, there's probably been 100 ceasefires. And who broke the ceasefire
every 100
time?
All 100.
Okay.
Hamas.
It was always, well, Hamas.
Even Netanyahu admitted that they were going to break the ceasefires.
It was Hamas or the PLO or the Palestinian Authority.
The PLO.
Or the Houthis. Okay.
The PLO.
Yeah. I mean,
they are so mainstream.
Right now they are.
They're so mainstream. They wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit factory with a sledgehammer.
But they were not back then, right?
Under the leadership of Yasser Arafat.
Everyone talks about genocide, right? I mean, first of all, there was some horrible gallows humor. We don't know what the target was. We don't know if that was a munitions target. We don't know what led to the blue smoke. But it is not unusual for soldiers to make inappropriate jokes when they're engaged in war. You see it with any side. What is unusual is parading women around a public square while the public is cheering, bleeding from their rectum because they've been raped so many times. Beating women and children to death, setting women on fire, putting women, beheading babies.
The IDF soldiers?
No, I'm talking about, and you can see this is your big game. I'm talking about
Gazans.
It's proof.
Right? IDF has done the same things you're talking about. That's facts.
The support for the evil in Gaza, right? When they went and machine gunned young adults at a concert, butchered and raped families in front of men.
You mean the attack in October that the Netanyahu administration knew was coming, had been warned it was coming, and had been given intelligence even from America in detail about what Hamas was going to do and when they did it. And Netanyahu allowed it to happen.
Yelling, right? You're done yelling.
Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. The Netanyahu administration had been warned about that attack in October, and they let it happen. Do your research.
Okay, and this is another example of you modifying the truth to try to build it around an argument for yourself while shouting down when I'm talking. I let you talk. I mean, gee, but we peel the layers back. You're the same anti-Semite you've been for years.
No, that's the lie you want to put on me.
No, it's not.
Because I criticize wrong within Israel.
But here's the thing.
But I do the same thing about Hamas, and I'm not anti-Muslim.
No, you're actually lying for Hamas because the Gazans. It's not Hamas. It's the Gazans. The Gazans overwhelmingly support the actions of October 7th. In fact, if you go to like a number of Western European countries, the Islamists there, the Muslim people there, the majority of them supported what happened on October 7th. We've heard of moms all over the world. No, I'm not lying. We've had moms all over the world talk about how great it was that they stood up and fought that day. We have liars like you that say, oh, this was a grand conspiracy from the Israelis who intentionally let women and children and families
get right.
And here's the big
difference. They did it on purpose
because
the ultimate goal was ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip.
Really? Let's talk about
I said and told you on this show that Israel's ultimate goal was to take the Palestinians out of the Gaza Strip and reclaim that territory for Israel. You said I was wrong. You said it would never happen. But guess what? This week it has come out that the Netanyahu administration says they all will be moved and Israel will claim that territory. So I was right and you was dead wrong.
Let's talk about ethnic cleansing in Palestine, in the Palestine portion of Israel, right? So when the Israeli government gave over control of Bethlehem to the Palestinian Authority, 80% of the people in that city were Christians. There are less than 10% Christians left.
That's an absolute lie.
If you go all through the Middle East, I'm going to
expose that lie.
No, I'm not lying. I expect you to lie about it. If you go all through the Middle East to every Islamist regime, right, there are almost no Jews left. There are almost no Christians left. There are almost no Yazidis left. We have all these horrible videos of Yazidi girls being tortured and raped and set on fire and killed because there is one religion.
Sick individuals who are trying to hijack the religion and commit crimes in the name of the religion.
It's not trying
the same way the Ku Klux Klan did right in America. Same way white-wing militia groups who promote Adolf Hitler and promote white supremacy and claim Jesus at the same time. There's wickedness involved in every ethnic group, every culture, and every nation.
Let's focus on religion, right? There is only one religion that says if you criticize my religion, you should be killed.
You mean Judaism?
It's not Judaism.
In the Torah, it says that Jews are permitted. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. See, I'm gonna cut him up.
No,
do your research. Simple
lying.
TikTok search. Simple Google search. In the Torah of the Jewish book, the Torah, it says that it is permissible for Jews to kill non-Jews who don't believe like they do. In that same Torah, it says that Jesus Christ is boiling in hell in excrement. Look it up. It ain't Quanell X saying it. Look it up. Do your research.
So Quanell, right?
See, I'm tearing your damn world up now with some facts.
Okay. If you go to the Quran, right, how many times does the Quran authorize killing infidels? How many times does it say infantada? How many times does it, let's leave all the raping children aside, right? Sex slaves aside. Let's leave all that. How many times does the religious text of the Islamic faith authorize murdering people that disagree with your religion?
It doesn't.
And how? Oh, yes, it does.
The Quran does not do that.
You are lying through your teeth.
Well, where then?
And hold on.
Because you can't point it out.
And how many?
You just doing this.
Hold on.
You bumping your gums, but you can't back it up with facts.
Hold on.
Name one surah.
How many?
Name one surah.
Hold on.
Where's that?
And how many Islamist regimes, right, actually employ that line of thought? How many imams?
A bunch of sick
Western
individuals who have never read the Holy Quran, but take their culture and try to mix it with the Quran.
The problem is
because the Quran doesn't teach that.
So the Quran doesn't teach that the Islamic faith should take over the world.
No,
the Quran doesn't teach that Sharia law must be the goal.
Let me tell you what the Quran teaches.
Islamist. The Quran doesn't teach
that
you
should
kill people that disagree with you.
That's not true.
And it's okay to take women that don't believe in the
That's
Islamic
an absolute
faith
lie, Charles.
as sex slaves.
The Quran doesn't teach that.
You're lying.
The Quran doesn't teach that.
In fact, it says all of it, and it says it expressly.
No, there are some cultures,
and there is
like in Afghanistan, who are Wahhabi, who are not Quran-following Muslims.
Right?
Charles, let me tell you this, brother. We have to admit now, to be honest with you, the Quran says this. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. It says that if you kill one innocent human being, it is as though you've killed the whole of humanity. Okay. So you can't promote killing innocent human beings in the name of the Quran when the Quran condemns it. Then the Quran goes on to say this. It says that the ink of the scholar, the prophet said the ink of the scholar is more sacred than the blood of the martyr. That it's better to educate people than to start wars and kill people out of theological differences.
What does it say about infidels?
Charles, let me
What,
say this.
what does it say
What
about
is
infidels?
What is
over
it says
and
this.
over
when
and
you,
over
when you
and
are
over
attacked
again.
by an
Right?
infidel.
So when you look at the
when
New
you
Testament,
are attacked by an infidel,
okay.
you just can't go out and kill non-believers.
Oh, yes,
That's
you can.
not Islam.
And
That's a lie.
Let's talk about the New Testament, right? Let's talk about the Christian faith, right? Because I think most religions, I mean, I think you have people that delude themselves, and I believe in reason and all that. But what you had is you had a reform movement in Christianity, and then you get to the New Testament where it's all about turning the other cheek, love and peace. Judaism, they isolate themselves, right? But it's not about proselytizing. Proselytizing, it is okay to tax people that don't believe. It is okay to use your sword to kill people after you've given them a chance to believe and they reject it. And we're seeing that practice out. Now, that's not to say there aren't millions of very peaceful Muslims who believe in a modernization of their text and don't think that stuff is okay, but there are also millions that do. And in
Charles,
every
there's
Islamic-controlled country,
in every religion.
Islamic-controlled
ignorant,
country
evil
does
people
not
in
allow
every
freedom
religion,
of religion.
Charles.
Every
That's not
Islamic,
true.
every
There's
area
evil
where
ethnic
Islamists have
people
taken
in
over,
every religion
they push
who claim
everyone
religion.
out. So you want to talk about genocide, right? The Palestinian people
That's
that have
genocide.
grown in millions
That's
of people
genocide, brother.
in Israel. We have
That
seen
is
in
genocide
the
in
last 20
Palestine.
years, a doubling of the amount. We've seen so much aid being given to the Gaza Strip and so much
That's
aid
not
being
true.
with the West Bank. that's
Israel
been
just
diverted
admitted that
by
they
terrorists,
bombed the
right?
aid
And at
just
the end
last
of the
week.
day,
They
what
bombed
we
the aid.
saw on
Even the
October 8th,
United
what
Nations
we
is
saw
condemning the Israeli
on
government
October 8th
for how they're
was
prosecuting this
people
war.
cheering over and over again and having
Charles.
a celebration all over the world for women hiding
Ladies and
in
gentlemen,
porta potties and
I've
being
already told you,
machine
ladies
gunned,
and gentlemen,
right? And
go
I
do your
don't-
research. The IDF and Benjamin Netanyahu already knew about October and what was going to happen and who was going to carry it out. But Netanyahu let it happen for two reasons, people. Do your research. He was under criminal indictment and getting ready to go to trial for corruption. He needed a distraction. Two, he wanted to please the hardliners in his government and take all that land away from the Palestinians and claim it for Israel, like he just admitted that he's getting ready to do. They let October 7th happen because it was justification for the acts of genocide that they're doing right now.
Every time the Israeli people have voted Netanyahu and other hardliners out, the terrorists
they vote 'em
in
right back in.
Palestine,
They vote 'em right back
what
in.
What we saw in Lebanon when the Islamists took it over in the last 20 years is death squads going around and killing Christians, killing Jews.
Charles,
we're seeing it in
why don't
Syria
you quit
right
telling them
now.
lies?
We're seeing it in Syria
Ladies
right
and
now,
gentlemen,
where Christians and
do a
Yazidis
simple
are being
TikTok
executed.
research.
You're not going to
Go
research
to
on
TikTok, ladies and gentlemen,
right? The
and
truth
type
is-
in how Christians are treated in Israel.
what is River
Watch
to
it
the-
for yourself. Just go to YouTube and type in
What?
how Christians are treated in Israel and watch it for yourself. Don't let a lying hypocrite like this man
Okay.
is about the truth of bad people in every religion try to fool you and lull you off to sleep that it ain't happening to Christians in Israel too. Look it up.
What does river to the sea mean?
I don't know. I didn't come up with that.
But what does it mean?
I'm not sure what it means.
You're lying through your teeth.
I've heard what the Israeli
He
said
likes
mean.
to lie.
I've heard what the Israeli
What
said
do you
mean.
think river to the sea means to everyone that chants it?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, you're lying.
No, I'm
because
not.
This is what you do.
That's not
This is
true.
when you've got an uncomfortable truth.
I've heard the
It
Israeli
means
government
the
say pushing
absolute-
Israel to
it
the
means
sea or something like that.
It means the elimination of the Israeli state, right? You have sat here on this very program and talked about how the Israeli people aren't from the Middle East, that the Ashkenazis who are
That the
30 for
original
those-
Jews,
Okay.
the original Jews of
The Ashkenazi
Palestine
Jews.
and the original
The
Jews of
Ashkenazi
the
Jews,
Middle East and
who are the
Bethlehem
largest
and Nazareth are not white-skinned Jews.
Okay.
The
So-
original Jews are not white-skinned Jews who came from Europe in the Holy Land. They are not,
The
sir.
Ashkenazi Jews that are the largest ethnic group in Israel.
They very well may be, but they're not the original inhabitants
Yes,
of what we
they
know as
most certainly
Israel.
are.
That's the same
Right.
lie. Y'all try to tell that white people are the original inhabitants of Texas and white folks are the original inhabitants
I
of
don't think we've
California.
ever said
And that's a
that.
damn
I
lie.
don't
And
think
just
anyone's
the same
ever
way
said
white
that.
folks in America say Christian Columbus or Christopher Columbus discovered America and a whole race of Indians were here. They tell them lies all day, every day, brothers and sisters.
I don't think, first of all, they're not Indians. They're indigenous people, Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody is promulgating the theory.
Here's
that
some more
Christopher-
research for
Okay.
you.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Do this research. The Israeli government attempts to pass a law to outlaw the worship of Jesus Look it up. Go do your research. That the Israeli government tried to pass a law just 2 years ago to make it a crime to even mention Jesus' name in Israel.
Okay, again,
let's tell the truth.
There's religious freedom.
Let's tell the truth.
And there are plenty of Muslims and
Let's
Christians
talk.
that live throughout Israel. You know where there aren't Jews and where there aren't Christians and there aren't Yazidis? Well, like there were some in Syria. They're being executed right now as we speak. They've almost all been
Same
run
what's
out of
happening
Lebanon.
in Russia.
They've been all run out of Iran.
Same what's happening in China.
Okay, I know you want to talk. Well, China has no religious freedom. It's an evil authoritarian
And
regime.
they kill
But
everybody who believes in any religion.
But also, if you get outside of China and North Korea, every country that doesn't allow any religious freedom and actually subjugates people of other faiths is an Islamist regime. And in fact, they find
what about
support-
Russia?
They find support.
What
for
about
that.
Russia?
Hold on. They find support for that directly from the text of the Quran, right?
No, that's a lie.
And
That's an absolute
you
lie.
saying you don't know what river to the
Charles,
sea means
Charles,
is a lie.
I'm being honest
saying
with
is
you.
true. What
I have
does the
not heard
Quran
one
say
Muslim,
about infidels?
I've not heard one Muslim say to me exactly what that means, because I just
Okay.
heard about that
And
maybe
here's
a
the
year
thing,
ago
and let
when
me
this
be
war
very
started.
clear. Although I
really
think,
don't know.
I think your religion, the Nation of Islam, I don't think they're like white people, which makes me sad, but I think it is an incredibly peaceful religion that you don't hear about members of the nation
Because
talking
we are
about.
taught to love
Right,
ourselves
right.
and
you
love
don't
one
hear
another.
people of the nation.
And committing
hold on.
crimes, or you are nothing more than a
And
criminal.
who suffers the most from the Muslim intifada? It's actually sectarian violence, which is basically, if you take it about in Christian terms, other denominations of the Muslim faith killing other denominations. We've seen that over and over again. But the hardliners are winning. If you look at photos of Iran and the freedoms women experienced in the 60s and 70s before the fall of the Shah, it's nothing like Iran is the heart of mathematics in the world. Iran had discovered so many discoveries that we enjoy today were actually found in the Middle East, right? But then you had the Khomeinis. You look at Afghanistan, and once the hardcore Muslims took over, they destroyed
You do know the
all
ancient
evidence
name of
Buddhism,
no, that's not true.
All evidence of Hinduism.
The ancient name
If you
of
look at
Afghanistan is Babylon.
Look at Pakistan.
And Babylon ain't been right for thousands of years.
you look at
Before the
Pakistan-
Muslims ever took that part
I mean,
over, Babylon was fallen and Babylon was wicked.
And we want to pretend that the global religious violence, we love to talk about this country, it's the white Christians. But every day it's become
It ain't
white
the Klan? It ain't the white militia groups who claim
stabbing
Jesus
attacks,
Christ?
The car attacks. We saw the machine gunning at basically the Niagara Falls.
And
in
we
India
watch
last
and we
week,
watch all
and
these
it's
mass
all
shooters in
Islamists.
America
So
have
let's
white
stop
supremacist beliefs.
pretending
The
Islamists
last
aren't
mass
the
shooter in
problem.
America had white supremacist beliefs. Look it up. It's simple research.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices.
Like your text to emoji ratio.
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off
We are given the platform here with no fear.
always comes out
We
swinging.
should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the
neighborhoods
hell
go.
up.
You
and
interrupt
let
me all
speak
the
to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl!
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
One moment, this was what appeared to be a classic Miami pleasure cruise. A luxurious boat deck packed just off the coast of Miami Beach. But the weekend joyride in Florida's Biscayne Bay quickly turned into a dangerous situation.
Vessel taking on water.
What appears to be a 63-foot-long Lamborghini yacht started to sink. The surreal scene captured on camera from multiple angles.
Could you imagine? Dude, no way.
The U.S. Coast Guard says 32 people were rescued. You can see some stranded boaters wearing life jackets. Nearby vessels and emergency responders swarming within minutes, helping passengers to safety.
We were able to get on scene and thankfully get all these people, these 32 individuals, off this vessel taking on water, and with no medical concerns reported.
Some managing to save what looked like high-value goods, including possibly a Louis Vuitton patterned purse and a laptop.
Well, you brought your computer?
Some even poking fun as the ordeal unfolded.
Iceberg!
The Coast Guard says the incident happened near Monument Island, a small strip of land between mainland Miami and Miami Beach. The area popular for ritzy yachting and near the exclusive Star Island, home to sprawling estates owned by the likes of Jennifer Lopez.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Cornell, sometimes we get these topics, and I don't know why they ended up here and what we're going to talk about. What we have is a Lamborghini yacht, incredibly expensive, like the cigarette boat from Miami Vice in the 80s, right? But instead of being filled with drug dealers or undercover cops, this Lamborghini cigarette boat was filled with, I mean, it's 2025. What was it filled with? It was filled with influencers. Influencers shooting content.
Are you taking marijuana gummies again?
Okay.
Have you been chewing them damn gummies
I don't know
again?
what that has to do with these influencers.
Did you see all the women?
Yes.
You didn't see all them women and maybe 2 or 3 men? What about 30-some women?
Like I said, it was content.
Can we go back to the picture with the woman with the pink top on, the Latino-looking woman?
I believe.
I mean, because she needed a bigger life jacket.
I believe Matt didn't want us to enjoy.
The hell with that Lamborghini boat. Did you see the boat itself? What was on the boat?
The clip I saw involved a lot more thongs than
they were in distress.
But Cornell, let's not be misogynist.
They needed help.
I don't know why we're talking about a boat sinking in Miami, because it exemplifies.
Hush up. Anybody would help you. Can you get to the right scene? This man wasting time, this old man over here. The one with the pink top on, my Lord.
I thought we were supposed to.
Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
You are talking like you've never seen a woman in a bikini.
Man, did you see that woman of color?
Okay, yeah,
that melanated woman.
There were beautiful women.
Oh my Lord,
but
Jesus.
they were content creators, and they.
Man, I'd have jumped in that water.
And they sunk.
I'd have jumped in that water. I'm coming. Here I come. Don't sink. I'm coming.
You swimming like that guy.
You talking about the damn boat.
You swimming like
the
the
hell
guy
with
in
that
Alabama
boat. This was
with
on the
folded
boat.
chair, huh? You like the guy in Alabama with the folding chair.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I wasn't going to fold no chair, but I would have been swinging.
Okay. So, oh, Jesus.
What do you mean?
But I don't know the angle, right?
You got to save her somehow.
I think this is an incredible indictment of America in 2025. We've got a multi-million, it's probably a $15 million boat, sinking probably because it was driven by an idiot that was more worried about filming for Instagram than not running into anything. It probably had too many people on it. We had a bunch of people that not only before they wrecked the boat, were probably just making Instagram
I know a whole lot of
even
brothers
after
with
they
boats
wrecked the boat,
who would help them lighten that load.
We have all of these
They could have lightened that load. Just make a distress call.
We have all of these resources dedicated to saving these people's lives, and they're just too busy taking Instagram pictures of themselves.
Can I see that pink top again?
Look, it's just a woman in a bikini.
That ain't no just no woman, fool. Can I see that woman with the pink top again? The Latino-looking sister.
I'll send you the clips. There were much better looking women crawling off that boat. But hey, I'm glad you found your soulmate on Fox Soul, of all places.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And neighbors, you interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And neighbors, you interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
So Christian Black, a 25-year-old man who died while in Montgomery County Jail custody.
Earlier today, the attorney representing his family showed the video capturing moments leading up to his death, which has been ruled a homicide by the Montgomery County coroner. 2 News reporter Kajasia Hawkins continues our coverage. She was at that news conference and shares the family's response to the video.
Yeah, Brooke and Jack, this footage just released today may be disturbing for some viewers. It brought the family of Christian Black to tears as they continue to demand justice for his death.
Now every time I see the video, it's knowing that I'm gonna see him take his last breath again.
The family of Christian Black and the attorneys representing the case at Wright and Schulte say the disturbing video of the incident shows exactly how Christian died of positional asphyxia.
They chose to treat Christian inhumanely because they didn't value him as a human being. Well, we're here today to let you know that he was somebody. He was valued. You see his family here.
The video starts with Christian Black ramming into walls and doors inside of one of the holding cells. Then you see around 9 Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies rush inside the cell to subdue him. In a matter of minutes, deputies swarm him, tasing and pepper spraying him. Deputies then put Black into a restraint chair and place a spit mask on his head. This is when attorney Michael Wright says that the deputies positioned Black so that he eventually suffocated, leading to his death. For the rest of the video, Black is seemingly unresponsive. Nearly 10 minutes after first being restrained, a nurse takes his blood pressure, and then another medical professional begins to administer CPR. But attorney Michael Wright says that at that point, Christian Black was already dead and deputies failed to act fast. He says that they are now seeking legal action for negligence.
As it relates to how they are handling inmates within this county jail. So we are planning on initiating a lawsuit.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
You know, Quanell, this is another example of the way things are framed to completely absolve one person of any actions that contributed to the death and condemn public servants for doing their jobs. I'm sure you will disagree, but you look at the headline, man's death. That was the Dayton, Ohio NBC affiliate that we took that clip from. Man's death caused by gang-type response at Montgomery County Jail. And it's that kind of inflammatory description that we're seeing all across the media space that clearly ignores what was going on. They showed a little clip of one, half-hearted effort to ram his head into the wall, but the truth is that this man was banging his head into the wall over and over and over again and ignoring instructions to stop, right? He was causing it for a very long time, causing tremendous injury to himself. He was damaging himself.
To himself.
And what the cops could have done is they could have just said, stay in there and continue hurting yourself until you kill yourself. And that, of course, would have been their fault, right? They've got an affirmative obligation to act to protect this man from harming himself. Now, when they went in there, there was no cessation of his actions, right? There was still craziness, and they had to restrain him. They put him in a restraint chair. They actually did everything they were supposed to do. And when they saw that he was having a problem, they immediately got medical staff. But because this family, and here's the problem. People don't just all of a sudden start ramming their head into walls and going crazy on cops. There is a lifetime of behavioral issues that clearly someone ignored, that got to this point where he was completely out of his mind, trying to do himself great damage, and police, at risk of harming themselves, entered that. It wasn't a gang type response. It was a sufficient response designed to allow them to restrain him without risking harm to the officers or the deputies, the jailers. And then they followed policy. They put him in a restraint chair. They had to put a mask on him because he was spitting on people. This is
man, can you stop?
Sad that he died, but this was all downstream from his behaviors.
stop?
No, because it's disgusting that we're calling them gang-type murderers,
Charles.
calling for them to spend life in prison. It's
Charles.
absolutely obscene.
It is absolutely a fact that there was some type of, I believe, mental health crisis taking place with that young man in that jail cell. And you could tell the way he was ramming his head back and forth that he was having some type of psychosis breakdown. That's one. But they could have easily, before they went in, there's a chute on that thing to where you pass them their tray. They could have easily put tear gas in there to where, kept it shut, let the tear gas take effect.
They used pepper spray.
No.
But they did.
Put it in there. Don't put no officers' lives in danger. Don't get into a confrontation with him. Tear gas it. Let it subdue him for a second. Then go in behind him. Use the tasers and then handcuff him and put him in a restraint chair.
Well,
that's not
exactly
what they did. No, what they did,
exactly
they opened the cell door. We all watched this video. Anybody blind?
No, they didn't.
We all watched this video.
There. You can't do that in a
They
jail.
ran. They opened the door and ran in on him like a bunch of damn gang members.
Right, to hold him down.
All they had to do was put the tear gas in there, let it subdue him for a while, open it up, and then tase him and subdue him. Secondly, you sat there and said, "Oh, they followed all the policies and procedures." Well, they restrained him inappropriately. That's why he's dead.
No, he's dead because he was out of control.
Strangulation.
No, he was dead
He's
because
dead
he was
because
out
of an
control.
inappropriate restraint method that resulted in strangulation, asphyxiation, and the man is classified as a homicide death now. Charles, when you look at that video, they could have done a whole lot more better. A lot better. You mean tell me just opening up the door and all y'all running in at the same time is proper restraint methods?
Yes. In fact,
get out of here, Charles.
Trying
Stop,
to
man.
overwhelm him.
That's
hold him
old
down.
school restraint methods of the 90s.
Absolutely not.
Not those who have been thoroughly trained today.
It is very easy from the outside to look in and say, "Oh, these evil public servants did this evil thing." No, this crazy guy doing crazy stuff.
I'm not saying they're evil, but they damn sure stupid.
No, they're neither, right? First of all, you can't spray pepper spray through a hole in a door.
I didn't say that. I said tear gas.
The same thing.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
They tear gas inmates all the time. That's not true.
Okay, it gets in the ventilation systems. It gets to the other people. It is a problem.
Oh my God,
right?
Charles,
now,
come
what
on,
they probably shot was pepper foam, which is a little more tacky and sticks and doesn't go. But he absolutely had to go in there and pin him down and hold him. But that's not what killed him, right? What killed him was a positional asphyxiation
and
on the
improper
restraint chair. But no, not necessarily improper. What crazy people
did those
can do,
guys look like
on.
some well-trained men to you?
They did.
Hell no, they did not.
You can be restrained and lean into the restraint and move yourself, flail around till you actually choke yourself to death. This man was worked up. He most certainly caused himself grievous bodily injury by banging his head and everything.
But that's not what he died from.
You can get so worked up.
He died from suffocation.
You can get so worked up that you can lose your ability to breathe and die. You can also have positional
my God!
asphyxiation.
Now you want to say that
Hold on,
he was so hyped, he choked himself to death because he was so hyped.
It's actually a real thing.
Come on, stop this,
Charles. You can also get
Charles.
positional asphyxiation. It's more common when somebody is hog-tied, or like when George Floyd, when the compression was on his upper back.
You saw them all over this man.
But he didn't die from that. He died when he was in the chair. Right?
No. He was, before they rendered CPR to him, he was already dead in that chair.
Right, but
in fact, in the video, it said that you no longer see any more movement once they put him in the chair.
No.
It says once he got in the chair, you no longer saw any more movement. He was dead when they placed him in the chair.
This was a man causing himself great harm, exposing
That's obvious.
The officers
but the
to
restraint
great harm.
methods and the approach and subduing him was improper.
And when a crazy guy manages to kill himself, when he's putting every effort into killing himself, it is ridiculous to go on media and cry and say, I want millions of dollars and people to go to prison.
In that jail that warranted them running in like that?
Okay.
He was a threat only to himself. He was a threat only to himself. So if he knocked himself out from hitting his head against the glass, that's on him.
Are we going to pretend that if they just sat back and watched him banging his head into the wall over and over again and did not intercede, that we wouldn't have a very similar press conference with the same lawyers saying, oh, these officers just stood there and watched while he killed himself. They've got this obligation to intercede, these horrible officers.
Let me ask you a question.
The police can't win.
Let me ask you a question. So why is it they did not get shields? They get the little armored shields.
Again, it's very easy
and
to
run in one second.
Monday morning
one second. No,
quarterback this.
I've watched these restraints. They go in with the shields, pin him against the wall, okay, or pin him down with the shields. All right. Then when you pin him down, you can tase him there. You can handcuff him, restrain him properly there. Charles, they ran in with no protective gear. They ran in with no shields, and they just like dudes on the corner bum rushed him.
No. What they did.
That's wrong, Charles. It's improper.
You're saying you saw it. I've actually done it in the same circumstance, the exact same circumstance. Big crazy guy, but in this we had bars back then, and he'd banging his head over and split his skull open, running into the bars. And as soon as we got it open, he came at us, spitting at us, clawing at us, and it was only 4 of us, because I think that was the whole shit. We got him held down, we got the mask over him, and we put him in a, back then we just used a straitjacket, which is not nearly as good as the restraint chair. But we had to hold him down and do all that because we couldn't just watch him kill himself.
But there have been improvements in technology
the restraint chair,
and methodology.
Which they used.
Charles, why did not they go in with some shields? They could have tear gassed him first.
How do you know they had shields?
They didn't have them.
I'm saying, how do you know they had
but
any
why
available?
Would you not have those?
There's plenty of it.
Because you have to restrain inmates sometimes, Charles.
Okay.
And guess what the shields do? It protects officers from injury, and it protects
not if
the inmate.
Man gets a
protects
hold
the
of
inmate
it.
Also from injury.
I don't think
Charles,
you should go in there with anything.
They could have pinned him with the
shield.
They could have pinned him with the shields, taser him, and made it a lot easier, Charles.
Okay.
They
So-
just ran in with free.
so-
They freehand. They freehand and just run in and bum rush the man.
In the lawyer's mind's eye, in the family's mind, in your mind's eye, you all believe that this guy who was repeatedly slamming his head over and over and over and against the wall and fighting everybody, that he bears no responsibility.
I believe he did
for his
contribute
death.
to what happened to him.
Okay.
He did contribute.
But you want these
he
officers
did
to be
play a role.
convicted of murder
Let me
and go
say
to
this.
prison.
He did play a role in what was the eventual outcome. Yes, he did. But Charles, what I'm saying is this: that restraint method that they use and how they went about doing it was improper. In 2025, with the technology that we have out here today, with the new methods and training that they have out today, Charles, that was really an old school pathetic method that they used. That was not sufficient and resulted in a man's death.
And what I'm saying to you is, if that was a white guy doing it to himself, you would be talking about what an idiot he is right now. And
I'll be saying the same thing. It was improper.
You never do.
That the restraint was improper. That's not true.
Folks, especially our new viewers out in California, go back and watch the shows. They're all on Fox Soul. If you look at it, right, and you look at all the media talking about this gang-type response and blaming these officers, you're forced with a choice, right? Well, you can just watch and let somebody kill themselves, beating themselves to death, or you can intercede. And they interceded, they did it the right way, and now, because this idiot killed himself, that they're looking, they're probably all going to get indicted.
They run in with no helmets.
And what a point.
They run in no helmets,
public servants
no
saying,
shields,
hey,
no protective gear.
Okay.
The cops run in with no shields,
no
no helmets, no protective gear.
Right.
10 or 12 of them.
Right.
You're going to tell me in 2025 that's the proper restraint method of law enforcement in a jail cell?
You don't want them putting
in a confined environment.
You don't
Come
want
on,
to
Charles, stop this.
You don't want them putting a long-term knee restraint on his back.
But guess what? There was no need to do it if they went in with shields.
In fact,
if they went in with shields, don't need to do that, Charles.
That's absolutely not true. They would have had to restrain him. But
Charles,
the thing is,
once you got him in the corner,
shields available.
We watched the video, Charles.
Did you see shields?
Obviously, they didn't have them.
Okay, so they didn't have them.
Or either they chose not to use them.
Okay, well, we don't know the answer to that.
So what if they did have? What if they did have other equipment?
They would have still
to assist them in doing it, and they chose not to use it.
I'll tell you what if. It doesn't matter because they still...
No, they are neglectful. They're negligent.
You ask a question, you don't want to hear the answer.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. The end result would have always been to put him in the restraint chair, because that's the standard operating procedure. That's the SOP that they were following. And once he was in the restraint chair, he asphyxiated himself and he died. And that's just what
Charles,
happened.
he was dead when they placed him in the
he
chair.
Was not. I mean, you're just
Ladies
making
and
stuff
gentlemen,
up.
go back and watch the video, and you will see he never moved one time while he was in that chair. He was already unconscious and dead when they picked him up off the floor and placed him in the chair. Watch the video, then listen to what his lawyer even said. Even the lawyer said that he was dead once they placed him in that chair.
Oh, you mean
you
the
see
lawyer
no
trying
movement?
to make
You see
millions
no
of
movement
dollars
at
off a
all. No
criminal?
movement at all.
Okay. Yes, I'm not
That was-
shocked
that was-
the
that was
lawyer trying
insufficient,
to
Charles,
make
how to
millions of
restrain this young
dollars
man.
is saying. But no, the ME's report and all the evidence, including the video, support the fact that he became asphyxiated by being in the chair.
The ME's report says homicide.
Right, because you know what homicide
Because they
means?
killed him.
You know what homicide means?
Because they killed him.
Is that in that situation, some external thing caused his death.
They are the external thing.
But it doesn't.
The damn deputies, the cops.
The deputies did what they had to do to restrain him. They followed policy, and this. Well, we're going to get to a point in
That
America.
can't be the policy.
We're gonna.
That can't be the policy that they
We're going to get to a point
follow.
in America where every bad outcome, especially for a person of color, despite all of his bad behavior, is somehow going to be the public servant's fault, and public servants just aren't going to serve anymore. Right? These men did their
That
job.
was improper how they went about doing that.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You
and
interrupt
let
me all
speak
the
to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Yes, 13. Anything you want to say about Alcatraz?
I don't know if he's watching The Rock or what inspired this.
Welcome to The Rock.
The famous movie The Rock, starring Sean Connery, had a plot to take over Alcatraz. Governor Gavin Newsom says a real-life reopening makes no sense.
I mean, you can't even come up with a more colossally bad fiscal idea. Nothing about this makes any sense.
Where did you get the idea for reopening Alcatraz? Just an idea I've had.
President Trump defended his idea to reporters outside the White House.
It's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, of whatever it is. I mean, it's a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, President Trump has floated the idea of reopening the notorious prison Alcatraz out in the Bay Area in California. And that's the same prison that has held some of the most notorious mobsters and gangsters in American history. Now President Trump says he wants to reopen it for the most ruthless and violent criminals. But I thought we already had those facilities like Pelican Bay, like those other federal penal institutions that held John Gotti and held these terrorists that are locked up in America. So why are we talking about reopening Alcatraz? Is this a stunt? Because, and first thing came to my mind is, how much money is it going to cost to make Alcatraz a prison again that's safe enough to even house prisoners? It just seems like a publicity stunt to me, and it's crazy. But he wants to do it for America's most ruthless and violent criminals. But I was thinking maybe he should make that prison for Fortune 500 crooks. Maybe he should make that prison for insurance company CEOs who use AI to just delete people's requests for life-saving procedures and surgeries. Maybe he should keep that facility open for politicians who know how to sell when they know something is coming down the pipeline because they got insider tips. Maybe he should leave that open for America's biggest tax evaders. But you want to make that for America's violent criminals, but you don't want to do a damn thing about the real crooks in America.
Well, there's a number of reasons it's a bad idea, but you heard the president, he's talking about the symbolism, right? The symbolism of putting these bad people on this island in one of our nation's most affluent, nicest cities. There is a million reasons why this is just silly, late-night Twitter finger nonsense from our current executive. One, Alcatraz is one of the most profitable national parks in this country. It is a huge tourist attraction. I've been a couple of times myself. I think on one of my bookshelves in my home studio, I have a piece of the rock from Alcatraz. It would just be dumb financially for the city of San Francisco that, because of the homeless epidemic, has been struggling with tourism, although last year was a banner year. It's been a problem, and he wants to take away one of the city's largest tourist attractions, which is just silly. He's all talking about symbolism, but you're right. We have a supermax prison in Colorado,
several,
but we have our main one. We have it. This would just be for the showmanship, and that is, we do have a showman president. We have a populist president who has endeared himself to American society by these, I don't want to call them grand gestures, but by gestures like this, right? Like reopening Alcatraz to put the worst of the worst. I don't think it's a good idea, but more importantly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And when we have a president that had campaigned on austerity and the government spending less money, who has his DOGE unit, allegedly Pam Bondi is our Attorney General, is geared to very soon file charges against even elected officials for the diversion of USAID funds, any government tax dollars away from whatever specific purpose they were allocated to being stuck into people's pants. We're talking billions of dollars.
So
right?
what Trump is going to do, what you're saying, his administration is going to do the same exact things the Democrats did to him when he was running for president.
Well, I think we'll see some responsive lawfare, most certainly.
So now we're going tit for tat now.
Well, definitely. And I do think, that's why executives typically didn't go after other executives. That's why I like with Nixon, they just kind of let him go off into the sunset.
And the Clintons.
Because, the Clinton stuff, a lot of it, like Whitewater, was a bunch of nonsense. And although I think he's a predator for getting you had the most powerful man in the world and an intern who was half his age, less than half his age.
And perjured himself before the U.S. Congress.
Right, I think he's an awful person, right? And I think he got a pass where conservatives would not have gotten a pass for that kind of sexually predatory behavior. Which is sad because I was well ensconced in the Democrat camp back then, and I was happy with the way he stewarded America, but I'm just not a fan of these sexual monsters.
I'm against the weaponization of politicians using the criminal justice system as a weapon to punish their enemies.
Well, I think what Alcatraz would be a place to put his enemies basically on display, right?
Like, now, would you just say it?
What now?
Because if Miss Bondi is looking to bring charges,
right?
I can see President Trump proudly saying, "Well, we got space at Alcatraz."
Right. No, that's exactly what I think he's going to do, and I think it's all a bit silly, and I think we have far more significant problems. And I want the government spending less money, not more. And
but he's lending the appearance of becoming a dictator.
No, not at all.
People are accusing him of these things,
of course, people have
and
been
he's lending the appearance
of stuff.
When you talk reckless like that and doing some of the things that he's doing,
reckless?
When you talk about shipping inmates to foreign countries and pay foreign countries to house American prisoners, that's madness, man. When you talk about getting rid of birthright citizenship, That's not talking like a dictator?
I don't think it does. A dictator would not have sat for office.
You talking about bending the U.S. Constitution?
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut the
neighborhoods
hell
come
up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Roll it!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut the
neighborhoods
hell
come
up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Roll it!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Tonight on The Factor, uncensored violence against workers in the healthcare industry, particularly nurses. We'll have the latest viral assault. And there you have it, history made at the Vatican today. The Catholic Church has a new Holy Father, the first one from the United States.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on The Factor Uncensored tonight, a historical day for Catholics around the world and especially here in the U.S. Now, the first Pope ever, let's help me with this.